Hello everyone, welcome to Bonsai Expression. I'm Christoph. Those of you that are new, welcome to the channel. So I was just about to water my trees and I realised we've had some really long videos, and I thought, why don't I give you a small little update on one of the trees that we've recently worked on. So about 3 months ago we did a little experiment on the advisory of Harry Harrington, which was to work on our larches on the earliest part of the year, which was January, and I did exactly that. So what happened? Is it alive? And do I have the same results as the rest of them larches that I worked on slightly later on in the year? When I say later on in the year, I mean at normal time that I usually work on larches. Well, that everybody works on larches, which is early spring, as you do. So I worked on this one. The one I worked on, shall we say, the one I worked on, flying around my head, sorry. So the one I worked on was the one I got from the boot sale in Birmingham 2 years ago, and it's the one I do like. So I worked on it in January, and it's fine. It's doing right. It's got plenty of growth on it, even though we did have them horrendous roots and we put them in here. But it's got plenty of growth, and Harry Harrington, clever guy, knows his stuff. So will I be carrying on? Yes, I will. I'll get it on the bench in just a second and we'll have a deep dive and we'll have a look, see how this tree is performing. So let me spin the camera around. Now the first thing you might notice, the difference between the last video and this new one, is I added a little bit of wire here. So the tree was bent, so if you think of my hand like this, it was bent slightly back like this, and I originally liked it like that, but my plans have now changed, so I've angled it upright. So instead of it being like that, it's now angled up correctly, so it's more, so as you can see it goes up straight, so it's now more vertical. So the plans have slightly differed. So if I put you on the correct position, when I do come to air layer it as originally intended, I'm still going to air layer it somewhere here, and when I do, it's still going to be there, but I'm going to have this as a vertical tree now, and then this is going to be a first branch. The intention is to air layer here, but I do feel like I'm going to let this grow a couple more years rather than in the next year or two, and I feel like because I'm going to grow it over the next few years, I do feel like this hopefully will elongate a little bit more, at least if I let it grow a little bit more in the next couple of years. So I might even do another repot into a bigger pot, and then hopefully this, all of it should at least grow up further, which then might, as I say, this whole section might grow up a little bit more, giving me more space here for me to potentially air layer and having a bigger trunk towards the bottom, giving me a bigger gap between the ground essentially and the first branch. That's my hoping. So that's the plan. So air layer, but potentially air layering slightly down further there, which gives a bigger trunk, bigger distance between the ground layer and the first branch. This is going to be my first branch, so this is going to lead into this, which will be a first branch, and then this is going to be also part of the first branch. So straight away it's splitting off into two, which means this piece of growth here, I'm just going to cut this off. It's not needed in the design and it's just wasting growth. And if I continue to let the growth pursue into that area, I'm going to continue to thicken this up more than is required, and it will outgrow and compete for growth, taking the growth away from this area in this main trunk, so it will look stupid, and I will have to cut this further back, potentially changing my plans in this section for development. I'm going to have to obviously cut it further and further back and keep on top of it, because it's obviously a strong branch already compared to the rest of the tree, but your first branch should always be more developed than the rest of your tree, which it already is, but I don't want it to overdevelop. So that's where I'm at with it. If I just move this out the way here, you can see there. I've got this one here. I'm just going to have to snip out. I hope you can see okay. It's just, actually I might not need to snip that out. Just let me get in there a little bit better. I could for the time being leave that there. It could be essentially part of the design. If I cut the tree back, the branch back a little bit, I could cut to this one. So for now I'll just leave that in. I've got this branch in the middle between these, so I need to decide on that as well. As I say, this is going to be my first branch, so this branch here, actually let's just jump up to this branch, so this is obviously growing downwards and it's just needs taking out. Let's just take that out, there we go. Right, that's a bit better. I can actually see what we're doing now. So, go back. We can see here, we're going up the main branch. Everything's fine and dandy. So this branch here is now overshadowing. But, because everything's just starting to grow, I will in the future need to decide, will this be a branch over here or will this lead into it? So we're just going to let everything grow out and give me the option. I do think potentially with this growing out that way and out that way, that this one here will potentially go, but it will grow steadily towards the back, and then we will remove this one. So if we use this one as a branch, I would probably suggest that this branch in the middle is going to go. So I'm just going to take that one out now. Pointless having growth go into where I don't need, and then I should probably put a bit of wire on that, bring that down into shape. But there's no rush on that. The good thing with the larches is they're very flexible, so we could just, if I just turn that, that'll just bend into shape, forming a pad. And then either one of these that we do pick, it goes left, right in a nice order. As I say, we straighten this up, so we now develop a crown, and we just let those grow. The only issue I do potentially see with this tree is I don't really have anything developing it off the back, bar this one branch here. So if I just angle you up a little bit better and zoom you in, just get you there. So it's this branch here. Now I've got the growth on this side that's earlier on, and it does stick up a little bit. This section here concerns me. It's not dead, I've done a little scratch on it, although there is no sign of life other than scratching in, so I'm just waiting for all the buds to burst. And I don't know how to encourage them to burst into life with everything in the tree. Every other branch on the tree is popped and, you know, is circulating growth, but these ones haven't. So if anyone's got any ideas, please do leave it in the comments. But the rest of the tree is flush with growth. I'm not going to do any cutback yet. I'm still going to let more growth push out on it. So as I say, I want to thicken it and hopefully develop the trunk, let the tree grow out, push some more growth upwards, and give me some more choices on branches before I start cutting back. But we're doing really well, this tree. Yeah, really like it. The one I do think I will cut out if I just move in here is I've got just one here that grows up. I'm just going to take that one off as well. Which just clears that section out. Overall, I'm really pleased with this tree. So if you can imagine in the future, let me just move you back that way now it's turned. So you can see what I'm going for, other than this section, which I don't like. If I just pretend that, There you go. So if you pretend my hand is now the soil / pot line, that's where we're going to be doing our layer, and that's the tree line in the future. So you're going to look something like that. So I think we're going to have ourselves a nice little tree. But I do wish that this back branch would pop some shoots. I could just bend it where it needs to be, just there, which would do it nicely. But yeah, it's a nice little update. Don't want it too long on the video, but you can see a little experiment from Harry Harrington telling everyone to do their larches in January. Highly recommend it. It's done nothing bad to the tree. It's done really well. Just a couple of buds down here that haven't popped yet, and that one branch, but overall on the whole, yeah, don't see any issues with it. My other larches that have been repotted later on are not even this far in growth. So yeah, I recommend this one. So the Bonsai boot sale larch that we got a couple of years ago, repotted this one in January on the advisory Harry Harrington, and it seems to be doing really well. I'm quite made up with this one. Slight alteration at the top. We've brought the apex, oh, sun's coming out. We brought the apex into a more vertical line up with the wire, and I'm really pleased with it. Yeah, that sun's really out now. Woo! Can't see anything. And do you know what? I didn't mention, but if I show you just here, I've got a cone right there, and I had another one. I've just snipped it off. Where was it? I think it was just here, and I had a green one as well over this side, but I've had a couple. Well, when I was bringing the tree out, I had some seeds that all fell on the bench, so I've got the seeds. So hopefully I'm going to try and grow some trees from the seeds of this one as well. So fingers crossed we get some nice little trees from this. So we'll just put that there. I'm going to go into water in it, and the sun's really blinding now. So do I recommend repotting these trees in January? Yes. Harry's got this one down to a T. My other larches that we did in the early spring, as everything started pushing with the rest of the deciduous trees, their growth is not half as much as this. So yeah, yes, I do recommend January. Harry Harrington's got this one on the nose. Do your repots in January for your larches. The only other larches that are like this, and I've got even more growth, is the ones that haven't been repotted that I got off Andy down at Birmingham Bonsai boot sale this year, which is them Japanese larches that are the small ones that I said I'm potentially going to do a forest with. The growth on them are like, phew. And again, that's because they've not been repotted this year. But repots, yes, I will be doing my repots on my larches in January, and I'm really pleasantly surprised with this. So good experiment to do, and for me it works. So try it out, see if it works for you. If you like this update, please do give me a thumbs up. The algorithm loves that thing, and it'll help my channel out. And if you're not subscribed, please do so, because there's so many of you that watch this channel and you're not subscribed, so it would help me massively. Thank you very much, and I will see you in the next video, everyone. Thanks for watching. Bye, everyone.